Hello students, can you hear me? Okay, thank you. So let us start with a new topic today, and we'll see the switch chart. So whatever the two-wire transmission line and last class, we have also seen the planar transmission line, some formulas I told you. By that you can design some of the planar structure as well. Now the thing is, in two-wire transmission line, we have seen number of formulas, number of methods to find it out, like impedances, voltage wave, current wave at particular location, and how we can do the matching with arbitrary loads or some different load conditions we analyzed. Fine. So the thing is, uh, today we'll learn about the Smith chart. Correct, it's very important tool for microwave engineer, RF engineers. So let us begin with some of the basic facts about the Smith chart. So, so the very first thing is a graphical tool for visualizing and analyzing the high frequency circuit. The first point is very important is that graphical, why we are going to use this Smith chart. So the answer is that this is a graphical tool for visualizing and analyzing, just a minute, high frequency circuits. This is the first point. Second, it provides mapping between impedance and reflection coefficient plane. Third point is it represents a graphical plot of the normalized resistance and reactance function in the reflection coefficient plane. Fine. So these are the reasons actually uh, we are using the Smith chart. Like we have seen the number of formulas, number of things. Okay, sometimes it is really tedious to calculate all those things from the calculator. Now, to proper visualizations, what you can do, you can use this graphical method for visualizing the high frequency circuits. Correct. Basically, the matching issues we are handling with the Smith chart, and basically the idea is the same. What we have seen last classes that um, particularly we have seen the reflections at load end and the source end, and with this reflection information we got number of information for these transmission line circuits. Fine. So particularly we will be doing all sort of exercises over the reflection coefficient plane. Fine. And This is actually devised by the P.H. Smith. The scientist's name is P.H. Smith. Fine. So long back he given this idea actually, and still there is state of art. You can find it out that people are still working over the Smith chart and they are trying to give the solution with the 3D Smith chart. Please try to search over the web. You will be getting a lot of information. Now, so we have seen number of equations in previous classes for transmission and calculations. So mainly I'm writing some key equations, what we have seen, which are Z input impedance is given as R naught ZL plus ZZ naught tan beta L for lossless line. Fine. R naught, you can make it Z naught also. Make it Z, just a minute. So this is Z naught plus J ZL tan beta L. Fine. This is for lossless transmission line. Another formula we have seen, which is the reflection coefficient, as gamma is equal ZL minus Z naught over ZL plus Z naught. So we can also written in this form mod of gamma e to the power j theta, this thing, because this is a complex number, right? And we have also seen one very important formula to calculate the load impedance. If we have the information of the reflection coefficient and the phase, so this could be done with this formula, which is R naught 1 plus mod of e to the power j theta phi gamma, sorry, 1 minus mod of gamma e to the power j theta gamma. So these are very important formulas actually, and frequently we are using these things. But the thing is, sometimes if the problem is complex, so this is actually going to be very tedious, and definitely as an engineer we want a quick solution. So we need to find it out some alternative, and the alternative is a graphical method, which is devised these things by the uh, P.H. Smith actually given these things as a Smith chart. So by which we can solve the number of matching related issues uh, for the RF circuits. Fine. So let us quickly do on derivation actually. So you will get some idea that how the Smith chart actually we can actually, because the thing is the logic behind this thing is there are number of equations and number of things are there, and we need to arrange in such a way so that we can get some proper solution. So before just jumping over that solving over the Smith chart, we need to understand some of the basic facts about the Smith chart. Correct. So the thing is, first I would like to show you the Smith chart. So the first slide you have seen, I have put at this Smith chart. So you can see here, this is the Smith chart. So you can see the number of circles. Correct. The number of circles are there. Even this is also the circle. Correct. And you can see some. This is they are writing imaginary, some real, and all those things. They are indicating short circuit, impedance matching, and open circuit. So we'll be checking it out that how we can do these things. So we need to understand these different circles of the Smith chart. So these are actually basically the normalized resistance or normalized reactance circles are there, and this is actually on the gamma plane, and on that gamma plane we will be analyzing those things. Okay, and we will be plotting the things. Correct. There are a number of scales are also there. So before going over the scales and all those things, first let us understand these different circles. So we'll be taking 2 or 3 classes for that, and we'll learn that what are these circle and all. Correct. And then we'll solve some problem, some critical problem. uh, and we'll compare the efficiency what we learned these things, that why this is very important. Correct. So Smith chart construction for low loss transmission line. So we'll learn today and tomorrow the construction of the Smith chart. Fine. So as we have a very useful information from our previous classes, that ZL minus R naught over ZL plus R naught, fine, is equal to mod of gamma e to the power j theta gamma, fine. Now the thing is, this Smith chart actually comes with the normalized value, correct? So we supposed to normalize, and when we are talking about the normalization, so the best way, the reference point would be that the characteristic impedance of the transmission line. So what we can do actually, so normalized load impedance, we can write like this: ZL bar. Okay, we are going to represent all the normalized value like this. It's making over the bar. Okay, so this is ZL over R naught is equal RL over R naught plus J XL over R naught. Fine. So finally, these terms could be uh, written as small r plus JRX, where small r is normalized resistance and this is normalized reactance. Fine. So what we can do next actually. So gamma particularly is a complex quantity. So this could be written as gamma r plus j gamma I. Fine. This is a representation, and gamma we already have seen that in terms of the impedance. Okay, we can write it down. So normalized would be, because we are dealing with the normalized one, so better to write like this: ZL minus 1 and ZL bar plus 1. Fine. So we are normalized with respect to R naught. R naught is a characteristic impedance of the line. Huh? So this is actually voltage reflection coefficient at the load side. Fine. Remember, this is what? This is voltage reflection coefficient at the load side. And we can also do it like this: ZL bar, we can write it in terms of gamma 1 plus mod of gamma e to the power j theta gamma divided by 1 minus mod of gamma e to the power j theta gamma. Fine. This is normalized impedance is related with the reflection coefficient. Fine. If you have the reflection information, you can find it out the load impedance. Okay. So this is the idea. Now, finally, what we can write actually, that R plus JX. What is this? This is what? Normalized impedance. Correct. We just normalize here. So please check. So R plus JX, and this could be related as, can we write like this: 1 plus gamma R plus J gamma I over 1 minus gamma R minus J gamma I. Can we write? Yes, definitely, because we have seen actually this thing, gamma could be related or expressed in terms of the real and imaginary terms as a complex number. So this gamma actually, this definition, correct? This definition actually, 1 plus mod of gamma e to the power these things could be written in terms of the complex numbers. Fine. So what we can do actually, we just make the real part separate out and the imaginary separate out. So we are making like this. So this is the real part, correct? And we are making like this. Fine. Okay. So now the thing is, everything we written in terms of the normalized value. Now we need to do some little bit mathematics here, okay, to rearrange the things. How we can do actually? So r plus jx is equal, we can write 1 plus gamma r plus j times of gamma I divided by 1 minus gamma r minus j times of gamma. Fine. Now what we'll do? Denominator we need to multiply, correct? These things like this, 1 minus gamma r, and this will be plus j gamma I divided by 1 minus gamma r plus j gamma I. Fine. Can we solve it? Yes, definitely we can do. Some of the intermediate term I'm skipping here. So we can write r plus jx is equal to 1 minus gamma r square, 1 minus gamma I square plus 2j gamma I. Okay, some of the term will be cancelled out, so I'm not writing here. Okay, I'm just skipping one step here. Please solve the intermediate step. I'm expecting from your side. Fine. Now the thing is, what is special in this equation? The special is actually now you can separate out the real and imaginary things, correct? And in this way, you can write down the r and x, correct? So if you try to write these things, so r would be 1 minus gamma r square minus gamma I square divided by 1 minus gamma r to the whole square plus gamma I square. I think this is quite justified as well, because this j term will be the complex is presenting the imaginary part. Okay, so taking out 1 minus gamma r and 1 minus 1 minus gamma r square minus gamma I square divided by denominator. And similarly, the x could be 2 I divided by 1 minus gamma r to the whole square gamma I square. Fine. Fine. So now the thing is, we have written here the normalized resistance and the normalized reactance in terms of the reflection coefficient, and particularly in terms of the real and the imaginary parts. Fine. Now the thing is, separately we have to analyze these two relations to understand the different circles of the Smith chart. Fine. So I'm taking here the resistance circle. For the resistance circle, I'm taking r is equal 1 minus gamma r square 1 minus gamma I2 square divided by 1 minus gamma r to the whole square plus gamma I square. Fine. Now what we'll do, we need to rearrange these things. So how we can write these things? So this is 1 plus gamma r square 2 gamma r plus gamma I square is equal to 1 over r 1 minus gamma, sorry, just a minute. This will be gamma r square minus gamma I square. Fine. Can we write down? Definitely. We just rearrange the things, this equation. Now, another these things, the rearrangement, like we can do like this: gamma r square, okay, 1 plus 1 by r minus 2 gamma r is equal to 1 upon r minus 1 minus gamma I whole square 1 plus 1 by r. Can we write down? Yes. What we did actually, this gamma r and gamma I, okay, we tried to return this equation, and the coefficient like this, 1 plus 1 upon r, 1 plus 1 by r, like that, correct? So now little bit rearrangement we have to make it here, and the right hand side we can write down all the terms of gamma r, left hand side, sorry, and the right hand side we can do gamma I, fine. So just little bit rearrangement I'm making here. This is gamma r square minus 2 gamma r into 1 upon plus 1 plus r minus 1 over r plus 1. This is one term is equal to minus gamma I square. Can we do? Please check. Just little bit rearrangement I made here. Okay. Now the thing is, what we can do actually, we can add a term, correct? The term we can add both the sides, plus r square over r plus 1 to the whole square, and here also plus r square over r plus 1 to the whole square. Why we are doing? Because we want to make a perfect square, fine. So how we can make these things? How we can make, like, if you consider this things only, fine. So what you can write? You can write gamma r minus r over r plus 1 to the whole square plus gamma I square, fine, is equal to gamma I, I'm taking here left hand side, and this term and this term at the right hand side, and this would be r square divided by r plus 1 to the whole square minus r minus 1 r plus 1. Now we can solve it, and if you are solving, finally you are getting r plus 1 to the whole square. Now the thing is, if you see the outcome, you can match this equation, actually some of the well-known equation, correct? If you open this square, you will be getting the above term. That is why we added here r square divided by r plus 1 to the whole square, correct? We just want to make a perfect square. Okay. Now the thing is, if I write this thing equation and we'll try to match these things, so this will be gamma r minus r over r plus 1 whole square plus gamma I square is equal to 1 over r plus 1 to the. Now the thing is, if I recall one of the equation, correct, x minus x naught to the whole square plus y minus y naught to the whole square is equal to. What is this? This is actually equation of circle with x naught and y naught as a center and a is the radius. Remember these things? X naught, y naught is the center and a is the radius. Remember these things? We already have this fact, correct? From 10 plus 2. Now the thing is, this above equation, what we just solved here, we can compare it and we can find it out the center and radius. And in this way, now we can make the number of circles by changing the value of r. Fine. So if I ask you what is the center and radius of this equation, we can answer immediately. The center will be r over r plus 1 comma 0. Fine. R minus x naught, these things, and here the y naught is 0. That is why r over r plus 1 comma 0 is the center. And what is the radius? Radius will be 1 over r plus 1. This is really very important outcomes, correct? Now what we can do some analysis over these things, correct? And if you see this equation carefully, So there is a gamma r and gamma I. It means that we are going to do all sort of exercise over the reflection plane only. Correct? Okay. It means that what I'm saying, that this is gamma r and this is gamma I. Fine. So if you see this equation particularly, so what you can claim here, that all circle lie on the real gamma axis only, because gamma is 0 here. Fine. Now we can recall some sort of conditions here, some special cases, and we'll try to analyze, and finally we'll try to draw these things over the reflection plane. Fine. So I'm taking the first case as short circuit load. Okay. For short circuit as the load. Fine. Okay. So it means what we can do, ZL is equal 0. Fine. Okay. For short circuit, ZL must be 0. Correct. Now it means what, that small r, which is actually real part of ZL bar, or we can also write it down, this things real part of ZL over R naught is equal to 0. Fine. Now if I recall the previous equation what we just solved, correct, so what we can write actually, gamma r square plus gamma I square is equal 1. Why? Because r is 0. Because r is 0, remember. And what was the equation? I'm just writing here for your reference these things. So now if r is 0, if you're putting here, you will be getting this equation. Fine. I hope this is clear to you. Fine. Now the thing is, this is the equation is the largest circle which is centered at the origin and the radius is unity. This is the largest circle we are going to draw over the gamma plane. Okay, because 1 over r plus 1 is 1, which is a maximum value. If you are increasing r, so the radius will be going down gradually. Fine. So this is going to give you a largest circle. Fine. When ZL is 0. Fine. The second thing is for match load. For matched load, what we can write, ZL is equal R naught. In that case, small r would be real part of ZL over R naught, and ZL is R naught here, that is why this is 1. It means what? It means what? That the gamma r, comma, gamma I is the center of the circle will be what? 0.5, comma 0. Fine. And what is the radius? Radius will be 0.5. Fine. So what is the final equation? The final equation will be gamma r minus 0.5 square plus gamma I square is equal 0.5 whole square. Okay. Now, if you imagine these things, correct, so you can say this circle is going to pass through the center of the Smith chart. Correct. Now, the last case, third one, is for the open circuit. These are the extremum case actually that we are considering, and among these three cases actually, you will be observing that all the things are falling in between these three points actually. Correct. So ZL is infinity here, and in that case, what is the value of r? R will be, small r will be infinity, and hence you can say the center of the circle would be 1 comma 0. Fine. Center would be these things r over r plus 1, and the radius will be what? 1 over r plus 1. Fine. So the equation will be gamma r minus 1 to the whole square plus gamma I to the whole square is equal to 1. Now here what you can see actually, this radius is 1 again, okay, but the location is somewhat different, and the location is 1 comma 0. Fine. So finally we analyze the three cases. So it means what? For the normalized resistance R, small r, varies from 0 to infinity. Fine. Correct. And what we can say that here the mod of gamma is less than and equal to 1. Fine. Now if I try to draw these things, okay, how it will look like? Let us try. So this is the plane, this is a reflection plane, gamma I and gamma R. Fine. Now the first circle, let us try to draw. Okay. So what was the first circle? Remember, for the short circuit. Okay. I'm just writing the summary here. So for short circuit, the circle was gamma R square plus gamma I square is equal to 1. This is for short circuit. Fine. And for matched case, it was gamma R minus 0.5 to the whole square plus gamma I square is equal 0.5 to the whole square. And the third one is this, which is for the open circuit. Fine. So now the three cases we have. And for the first case, if you remember, what was the center? The center was actually, I'm representing the C 0, 0. Fine. And what is the radius? The radius was 1. Fine. For the matched load case, the center was 0.5, 0, and the radius was 0.5. Okay. And for this, the center is 1, 0, and the radius is 1. Now, if you try to draw these things, fine. So for ZL is equal 0, okay, the radius will be these things. If I try to draw here, just give me the different color. So this is the center. I'm drawing first for the ZL is equal 0, means for this one. So this is the center, and what is the radius? Is 1. Let's say this is 1. Fine. This is 1. Okay. So this is one circle. This is for what? This is for R is equal 0. Fine. The second thing was for the matched load case. Okay. And in that case, the center was 0.5, 0. Okay. So if this is 1, okay, so the 0.5 we can expect at this location, correct? And this is the center, and taking the radius 0.5, correct? Can we draw? Yes, of course. So I'm taking the different color, and with these things we can draw a circle here like this. Okay. Fine. So this is what? This is actually for matched load case. ZL is equal R0 or these things, or we can also say this R is equal 1. Correct? R is equal 1. Now the third case was these things, which is a open-ended case. And an open-ended case, the center actually is, you see, the center is 1, 0. So 1 is this, and this is 0. So this is the center actually. Fine. This is what? This is the center actually. Fine. So in this way actually, we can draw the normalized resistance circuit circle. Sorry. Okay. And like if you see the Smith chart, so they plotted in a very small steps, point 0.2, point 0.1, like that. Fine. So it would be easy that when we are doing the calculation, so we'll be following somewhat these things. Correct. So this is all about for the normalized circles. Correct. Fine. This is all about for the normalized these things. So so we have seen these things. R is equal to 0, R is equal to 1, these things. Okay. And for open circuit as well. Correct. Yeah. So all the things now clubbed here. So we can expect the number of circles here, like I can draw. So some other circle like this also. Sorry, like this, like this, like this. A number of circles are there, like this. Find number of concentric circles will be like this. Fine. So this is the thing. But this point is very important for us because this point is representing what the matched case. So when we are developing the circuit and we are going for matching, so we have to drag it the things at the center point, correct, or some within some limitation. We'll be talking about those limitation and those points, these things. Fine. So now in a similar way, correct, we can opt a second equation for the that reactance part, normalized reactance part, and that normalized reactance part, correct, we can do some sort of mathematics. Okay, I'm expecting that you will try, you will see in a book, and we can form again a circle equation, and this circle equation will little bit different actually what we have seen today. Okay, and we can draw it. So simultaneously, when we have the second circle equation from the normalized reactive the things, so we'll be plotting all those things in a same reflection coefficient plane, and then we analyze that both R and X circle. Fine. So for this class actually, okay, um, we will be just uh, having this much, and in the next class I will be explaining the reactive circles, and then after